The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
You're listening to Simply Kasy on Armed Radio, aired in over 60 countries worldwide. On today's show, we're going to be discussing business advice to help you grow your business on any budget. Also, lifestyle tips, and we've got some wonderful travel advice. So let's get started with the show.
Hello, everyone, and I want to thank everyone tonight for joining me for Simply Kasy. This is our first show on Armed Radio. It is being aired in over 60 countries worldwide. And also, we are on Facebook Live, taking your questions, as well as on Armed Radio, taking your questions live. So let's get started with the first show of Simply Kasy. I'm so excited about this. I also want to dedicate this show to a person who is one of my friends' best friends, and he is part of the Armed Forces, Armed Radio here, and his name was Sean Taylor, and last Friday was his birthday. And unfortunately, after the show, he passed away. So this show is for him, and we truly miss you. And we have Glenn Spillman joining us from Sacramento, and he just finished a great show of Sports Insider. He also has another show called Teen Films, and he discusses films as well as sports on Sports Insider. So please tune into those shows as well. So with all the formality out of the way, let's get started with some life tips. Now, this is something that actually happened to me this week, and I'm telling you, it is very stressful. And it is an occurrence that's happening all over the place. That is where they're called skimmers. And they're quite easy to get a hold of. You can actually buy them on Amazon for less than $100, actually less than $50. And what it does is this little device, it's about the size of a credit card or one of those Wi-Fi doodads. And what it does is that it skims your credit card information, your passport information, and they get all of your information. And so let me get on to Periscope real quick. So, Glenn cannot see me on Periscope. There we go. So basically, with this is something that's really, we're taking out all the kinks there. But basically, what it is that it skims your credit card information. It skims all this information here. And basically what it does is that I'm on Periscope Live, but I am. That way you guys can see me. So basically, what it does is it skims your information, and it skims your credit card. And what they do is they make what are called blank credit cards. And with those, they go to the nearest convenience store or wherever they can get gift cards, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS. And they go and buy 200 and plus, thank you so much, Stellar 13 Films from Sacramento, California. I just got my Periscope up. That's why you hear a little bit of gaps here. But they use this scammer, and they basically scam your credit card. So you are still using your credit card. You're not without your credit card, but they're using it to basically take the money out of your bank account. And also they use it to steal people's passports, and they basically duplicate them, sell them to people. And it's actually a huge business. There are people stealing your identity. Well, they went through my bank account, and they just kind of were just shopping around. And right now my account is on hold while the bank investigates, and then it'll all go back. But it's just a huge inconvenience. So there is a way you can protect yourself against scammers. And one of the things is if you have an Android phone, you can download a free app called Skimmer Scammer. Skimmer Scammer. Unfortunately, there's no Apple version of this, but you can protect yourself. These are called, they're little sleeves, they're called RFID sleeve. There's ones for your passwords. There are ones for your credit cards. I would put everything that you have, driver's license, your credit card, your passports, in these RSD sleeves, even if they're at your house, because they can actually go through your parking lot and they can actually scam all through the houses in that neighborhood if you are not protected. Now, if you can't afford right now a sleeve, which are very expensive, they're on Amazon, and if you actually go to my Facebook page or my YouTube page, my Twitter or whatever, I have links to Amazon for the products that I actually use that actually do work. You can actually take aluminum foil and wrap up your credit cards in it, and they cannot scam your card. People will actually go buy a plane. Oh, you can't see me on Periscope. I can see myself. Am I not on there? I can see you, Solar 13. Hi, Glenn. How are you? So what they do is they buy a plane ticket. Sometimes they're like, for instance, going from Austin to Dallas. They'll spend the whole day in the airport just scamming credit cards as people are just walking through the airport going to their destination. Then they'll get on the airplane, go to another destination, let's say Dallas, go and do the same thing, go back home in Austin, and basically during this time they have a buddy who basically, they're downloading all this information. They have a buddy who goes and makes the credit cards. They immediately start doing all this, getting gift cards and things like that, because gift cards are very hard to trace. They're actually pretty much are very hard to trace completely. And so what they do is they have a buddy who's sitting there making these cards, and they're just sitting there just racking up all these gift cards there. And then what they also have done is they've actually gone on Craigslist and they've actually sold the, gift cards for cheaper because they've made all their money. And they actually sell your personal information on the black web. And identity theft happens, and that's very costly. That's over a $1 billion industry is identity theft. So make sure that you protect yourself. Get an RFD reader, card slip. Also, they have RFD wallets. They have RFID purses. And I would highly recommend doing that. Yes, it is a card condom. Glenn Spillman at Seller 13 Films. It is a card condom. You're absolutely correct. But you want to protect, just like a condom, you want to protect your credit card, your money, and all those things, because there are scam artists out there right now taking your information and profiting on it. You work hard for your money. You don't want some punk out there getting your precious money there. But the bank will protect me. I will get my money back, but it's just right now, it is a pain in the bum to handle all this right now. So another tip I want to tell you about, and this is something I heard about when I was in high school many moons ago. We're talking 1994. Go class of 1994. But it's basically a gang initiation for the Crips and the Bloods. This one has to deal with the Bloods. And right now, this is kind of going on in high gear, mostly in big cities, but there are some small cities. So you want to make sure that you protect yourself. And that is, if you see a car with no headlights on, do not do the courtesy flashing your headlights, because part of their gang initiation is that anyone who flashes their lights at them as a courtesy, their job to be in the gang is to go follow that vehicle, kill everyone who's in the vehicle. To follow someone who's flashed their lights and kill every last person who's in that vehicle. So you want to make sure that if you are out there and you see a car that's driving with no headlights on, do not flash your lights at them, because you just do not know if it is a gang member or just some idiot who just forgot to put their lights on. So I would just let it go, just kind of get behind that person and completely ignore them, and just don't engage with those people, because those people are punk kids who want to be a part of an organization called the Bloods, and they want to, that is the initiation. That's why they have the teardrops on their eyes. Each teardrop represents a person who's been killed. So you want to be safe out there on the roads, in the supermarket. In fact, I was in the supermarket when I got carded. I was in the checkout line, or I might have been in the store somewhere just shopping, and I got carded. It's called carding. And so scammer, do not flash your lights if you see a person in a vehicle. Now, another tip, and I've got lots of tips here. This one is right now we are experiencing record wild temperatures. In Australia, this is so sad. In Australia right now, it is 117 degrees. 117 degrees. Now in Australia, it's their summer while it's our winter, so it kind of flip-flops. It is so hot that the fox bat, which is super cute, are basically being boiled alive and dying. And so conservationists are trying to save as many as they can, but there's so many that are just perishing because of this unbearable heat. It's called global warming. So what's happening is that the southern hemisphere right now is global warming, and the northern hemisphere is global cooling. So we are experiencing some really Arctic blasts. I mean, I actually saw somewhere like in Boston, where Armed Radio is from, negative 90 degrees to where they were head to toe in winter gear, including their face covered up, and they still couldn't be out in the weather for very long. Also, make sure you bring in your pets during this time, because pets, animals outside will freeze to death, and that is a horrible way to go. Also, you want to protect yourself in the vehicle. I have something that's called a go bag, and it's basically a bag that you put emergency provisions in, and you basically put it in your vehicle so that if for some reason your car stops working or you get stranded somewhere, you can have some emergency provisions. And I'll actually, on a YouTube video, I actually have what I put in my provisional bag and actually take you through my vehicle, and you can actually see firsthand, because telling you over the radio, you can't get the visual of it. But if you go to my YouTube channel, Simply Kasy, you'll see a video of details of what I put in my go bag. And what I do is in this go bag is that I've got an extension cord, I've got a mini shovel, I've got a whistle, I've got matches, I've got a blanket, I've got emergency food that's not perishable, emergency water that's not perishable. Certain things on there is that I always keep it in my vehicle. Yeah, it's a simple backpack on there. And also in the back of my vehicle is I've got a charger. And what it does is that you can actually hook it up to your vehicle and it will jumpstart your vehicle. It also has a flashlight on there. It has a USB port so you can plug in your phone so you don't lose. You can keep your phone charged. And one of the great things about it is when we had a power outage, I was without power for 12 hours. I actually brought this into the house. I used the flashlight of it, and I used the plug-in, and I was able to plug in a fan, because this happened during the summer, actually. I was able to plug in a fan to keep cool, and I was able to plug in my phone so I could basically watch Netflix on my phone because I didn't have any power, which helped pass the time. But I actually have in this go bag what I call, and I got this tip from a show called Big Bang Theory, and it was from Sheldon Cooper. So thank you, character Sheldon Cooper, played by Jim Parsons, is that he has a bag that's called his bathroom bag. Now, when we go to a public bathroom, it's pretty disgusting. So, and sometimes when you go, there's no toilet paper, there's no soap and everything. So you want to, it's kind of awkward to kind of go underneath the stall and go, can you give me some toilet paper? And if there's no one there, you're kind of occupied doing your business on there. And Glenn will get on to me. He's like, what kind of business? But basically doing your business and everything. So what I do is I pack wet wipes. You pack your feminine products, of course, and also the wet wipes are good for washing your hands. And if you go on vacation, you can take that with you, because a lot of times these little resorts that you go on off the cruise ships, they don't have toilet paper, or they don't have, something you can sanitize your hands with. When you do not need feminine products, this is just for girls, but the bathroom stuff with like the baby wipes and things like that, you could definitely use. Yes. Don't forget to tune in to Sports Insider, which is Glenn Spillman's show, and also look for him on Stellar 13 Films. He does wonderful movies from the Sacramento area. He does cast quite a bit of local people and everything. And also, he is available to travel anywhere in the world to do your promotional videos, your corporate videos, basically any type of video. He is really good. He's got a really good crew that puts, award-winning videos together, films. And so you definitely want to check out his website, stellarfilms.com. And that will give you all the information to get a hold of Glenn Spillman and see if you can be in one of his films. Or if you need his services, then, definitely give him a shout out and tell him that you heard it from Simply Kasy. And, hire him to do your commercials. I mean, he does wonderful commercials and short videos, and he'll consult with you, whatever you're wanting to do. If you don't quite know what you want to do, he'll consult with you and kind of figure out what's the best product to use that will match your, brand on there. So, speaking of brand, I'm going to tell you, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to divulge to you business secrets. These are business secrets that will take your business to the next level. These are top secrets. And also, I will be having an online campus, and I'm going to be hosting a 16-hour course of top secret tips and tricks that will take your business to the next level. I'm going to give you a sneak peek right now, but I'll tell you more about that in just a little while about our business tips and everything. So, basically, get yourself a go bag. If you go to my YouTube channel, I will show you what is in my go bag on there. It's a backpack, and you can actually use your children's backpacks or go to a grocery store like Walmart and get a backpack. Target has backpacks, or go to your thrift store. I'm all about thrift stores and basically reduce, reuse, recycle, because we have way too much waste in this country, and we have, just a plethora of things. So if you go to Mexico, and this is pretty neat because the United States, we're just now starting to recycle and reuse some of the items that we have, but in Mexico, they've been doing that forever. I actually bought a fountain for my house that I actually sold in my store because I had an import-export store called Wannabes inside of a mall, and I buy merchandise from Mexico and then ship it to my store. Well, one of the fountains I have, unfortunately, some kids were in the store and they knocked it over, and it busted. So it was a lady with like a jug, and she was like pouring the water out, and it was really pretty fountain. But when it busted open, you could see what they did to create the fountain. Basically, it was a foam that hardens, and they reused like an old milk jug to hold the water in the pump. And I've seen them use tires to create tennis shoes or flip-flops that tourists go and spend $30 on. And they've just gone to the garbage and grabbed the tire and just reused it and put, rope with it. And we're just like, oh my gosh, I've got to have this. Paper mache, different maracas and things. They've reused items that we throw out to make those and then make that profitable, which I've always admired when they've done all that. And so I wish I would have known this when I was first moving out of my house, because I spent a fortune on things. But if you go to thrift stores, be very cautious with it. Now, there's certain things I do not buy at thrift stores only because of the gross factor of it, like bras, panties, bathing suits, anything that's intimate like that, I am not buying from a thrift store. Anything like toothbrushes, things that I'm going to use on myself, I'm not going to do that. But I bought a Lennox plate set, which had gold trim around it. Whole entire plate set for $20. These plates are $200 a piece, and I bought the whole entire set for $20. It was, no one's going to know when they go to your house if you spent retail or thrift sale. So make sure you go there. I have bought, and I've seen in certain, because I go to the high-end thrift stores. There's a thrift store in Austin, downtown Austin. It's one of my favorite ones to go to. I saw things from Neiman Marcus. I bought gold trim goblets. I bought a wine fridge that still had the price tag on it that worked. So I have a wine fridge that is a $350, actually it's a $500 wine fridge that I spent $50 on. I have bought furniture that is like high end. We're talking $1,000. My 2 end tables in my living room, which are mid-century modern, those 2 end tables a piece were $1,000 a piece. I spent $20 on each end table. So, what is the best deal you've gotten from a thrift store? Oh my goodness gracious. I have no idea. I'm going to have to go through it, but I'm thinking my furniture because I got an Italian leather sofa, $5 at my thrift store. Italian leather sofa. Cheap. I've gotten lamps. I have gotten other furniture. And a lot of these thrift stores, they have furniture from like the 1940s and 50s and even from the 1920s. You can actually go buy these items and flip them on eBay or flip them on Craigslist. I actually went in there and I saw a Beats by Dr. Dre headphones. And because they thought that they were supposed to have a cord with it, because it's supposed to be corded or not, it was Bluetooth, it worked. But the problem was, yes, you can bargain at a thrift store, and I've done it many times, and they've actually gone down on the price. I'm like, is this the best price you can do? And they'll be like, okay, because their job is to move the merchandise out, move it out. And so you can get really good bargains. But I got this Beats by Dr. Dre headphones. They were Bluetooth. I didn't even know if they were working or not. I took them home, and I turned it on. I was like, oh my gosh, it worked. And it paired just nicely. And I cleaned it up. I take a bleach wipe or a Lysol wipe to everything that I get. I clean it up. So I put the headphones on. It worked just fine. And I figured out that when I put the charger in, because it doesn't come with a charger, it just comes how it is, I found out that it was kind of a little wonky on it. So what I decided to do is I decided to put it on Craigslist. And and I love this. I am a thrift store. This is like hunting for me. Some people hunt animals. I hunt bargains. And I love the thrill to hunt and the thrill to kill, which is the deal. I think I spent $5 on these Beats by Dr. Dre. I got $150 for those beats when I sold it on Craigslist. So I think that I got a really good return on investment. You can do that because there have been times I've got a pair of Bose headphones. When I bought a office file folder, it was a metal file folder that I used, and in it was a it was a Bose headset. I am not joking. But the only problem is that the ear pads were rough and they need to be replaced. You can replace those ear pads for probably about $20 to $30, but I spent $10 on the metal filing case, which had the Bose headset inside of it. So literally, I got the Bose headset for free. Now, the Bose headset kind of has a little bit of an issue with it where if I plug it into my computer, it is acting a little wonky. So I'm going to sell that Bose headset because those Bose headsets basically go for $220 on Amazon. So the free Bose headset that I got when I bought my filing cabinet I'm going to turn around and sell it for $220. Even if I sold it for $150, I'm still making bank on it because I didn't pay. If you want to consider what I paid for the filing cabinet and what I paid, let's just say $5 a piece. So when it comes down to it, I'm going to be able to flip that and make more money on that. I've done this with furniture. I go dumpster diving. I call it dumpster diving, but I'm not going inside the dumpster. I was driving down a neighborhood, and this person just left a bunch of antique furniture in the front lawn because a lot of real estate agents don't want to have to deal with it. And people, when they pass away, they don't want to have to deal with it. They just want it out and gone. Well, I got this antique 1950s cedar chest. I picked it up from the curb, and I put it in the back end of my truck, and then I put it on Craigslist. I sold it for $350. I paid nothing for it. I have done that with electric mobility scooters. People have just said, hey, I don't want it anymore. It doesn't work. You replace the battery on it. I sold it for $800. Paid nothing for it except for the battery, which was $100 to replace the battery. You can flip those items there. There's a number of things. I have found MacBooks. If you go to the University of Austin, which is one of the things right before their winter break and right as they graduate, these kids, they just throw out their items. You can get iPads, iPhones, headsets. I got a Nintendo, a Xbox system, complete system, sold it on eBay. It was in a box, and I just was going through boxes and everything, and I just happened to find, you'll find a lot of boozy boxes because they like to party up there, but I sold an Xbox. I don't even know if it worked, but I sold it. Everything. What's the best place in Austin to find deals? Yes, down with the horns, because I went to OU, and that's where I got my PhD in law is at OU. But the only thing I would say is that up with the horns when it comes to dumpster diving and finding things, because they throw out a lot of great expensive items. I found a MacBook, and it was a 2009 MacBook. And what I did is I upgraded the memory on it by watching a YouTube video, and I upgraded the memory on it, and then I ended up selling that MacBook for $250. And I paid nothing for it. It was just my time and just upgrading the memory on it, which I had memory sticks from a previous computer. I just slapped it in there and upgraded the memory. I have found, oh my goodness, so many things by just doing that and flipping those items. I have gotten trailers. I've actually bartered a scooter for a trailer and then sold that trailer for twice as much as what I did the scooter. So you can make money by going thrifting and by just driving up and down your neighborhood there. And that's Duke. That's Duke, my mascot there. He's protecting the house here. So yeah, so I would highly recommend looking at thrift stores because you can find jewelry, you can find clothing, sometimes with the tags on. I have gotten baby clothes, kids' clothes, for my stepchildren, because kids grow up so fast. I've gotten tennis shoes for my stepkids, and what you do is you take a bleach wipe to them, and they're just fine. You know, Duke is not going to shush. You just got to have to ride the wave with that one. So what I also want to do now is shift gears and go into business tips. Now, these business tips are really, really, really good. Ride the rocket. And so as Simply Kasy, I want to help you take your business to the next level. With my Business Simplified system, it is designed to market any business, any product, any service on any budget. Any budget. And that is correct on there. I can help you do that with proper marketing. I have a rule. Here's the rule. I believe that if the work is too hard, you have the wrong tool. If the work is too hard, you have the wrong tool. And one of the things about marketing is that we make it way too hard. And one of the things about business is we make it way too hard. And I want to simplify your lives. Whenever I think of people who have the right tools for the right situation, I think of this guy, MacGyver. He can defuse a bomb with a paperclip. I might not be able to defuse a bomb with a paperclip, but I am certainly going to try and help you take your business to the next level. And it starts with different levels of doing that. So I'm just going to tease you right now, and I'm going to tell you about level 1, and that is branding. This is the number one mistake that people make in business when it pertains to advertising. The number one mistake. Like cow branding. No, Glenn Spillman. It is about branding your product. I'm going to tell you more about it. The definition of branding is the process by which I create trust in my business. For example, www.brandyourself.com, www.seller13.com. This process is where I create a recognizable form for my business. It is a trust factor. It is an identity factor. And the purpose of branding is to get my name out there. And that is the purpose of branding. Get my name out there. There are rules when it comes to branding. And what the rules are is the first rule of branding is to get your name out there, recognizable out there. Nike, we know by the swoosh. We don't even have to see the word Nike. We know the swoosh means that's Nike. Starbucks, right here. We don't even have to see this. I mean, we know that this is a Starbucks cup simply because of branding there. And branding is so powerful. And if you fail at branding, your business is going to suffer. But you only have one shot at good branding because branding is your trust factor. And if you don't build a good trust factor, you're going to waste so much money on marketing and everything else. So you can actually brand people, places, and things. Yes, you can actually brand your ex-boyfriend and actually do an effective job with that. I like a caramel macchiato, and I do like the teas. So when you brand your people, places, and things, and I've actually tested this, where you can actually go on a dating site or somewhere else. I actually branded my an ex of mine, and it was quite effective with that. It was quite interesting. But you can actually go on a dating site, and then you can have your friends saying, oh my gosh, I went out with Kasondra, and she was a great hugger. She was a great kisser, or something like that. Something wonderful, because you'll build trust in people, and with that, people will be like, oh, she's an expert at this. She knows what she's. You can brand your kiss, but not with a poker. You're thinking a cattle brand, but no, you can brand anything, people, places, and things. You can say, oh my gosh, go to New York City. It is horrible. The traffic is terrible. And then people might not want to do that. Don't go to that hotel. That hotel's horrible. Don't see that movie. Don't do this. But you can do that there. Now, I would like to pose soda cans in certain areas in France. It smells like a 10-year-old toilet. But I'll go into that in the travel section there. I probably shouldn't be saying that because, I would like to go back to Europe and everything. But I want to pose a question to you guys today. And that question is, what do you think is the number one product in America? Number one product. I'll give you guys a few moments to chit-chat about. It's going to blow your mind when I tell you the answer. Phones. Glenn Spillman is saying phones from Sacramento. Condoms. Oh my gosh. Those are very good answers, and those are very Interesting answers. The number one product in America is convenience. That is the number one product in America. It is the one product that people buy over and over and over again. It is the one product that never goes out of style. It is the one product that is recession-proof. So you see, the question is, you want to ask yourself in your business is, how do you make your product more convenient for your client? The more convenient you make it, the higher likelihood they're going to purchase it. The more convenient you make it, the more valuable it becomes. Let me give you an example. I can go to the grocery store. You can go to the grocery store right now. And this is going to blow your mind on this one too. You can go to the grocery store right now and buy a box of macaroni and cheese, 49 cents. Macaroni and cheese. Put it on, boil some water, put the noodles in there, let them sit for 10 minutes, then mix cheese together. 89 cents. Or, that same aisle, you can buy a little container of mac and cheese. You're going to spend $1.50 for that. You put the hot water in there, it cooks it. I did say 49 cents. No, I said 89 cents. 89 cents. 49 cents might have been the 1950s. But you could buy the little bottle package of that, put the hot water in it, and then put the little powder in there, and then mix it together. You have macaroni and cheese. You're going to spend $1.50 for that. Now, you can also go into the freezer section, buy frozen macaroni and cheese, put it in the microwave for about 5 minutes. You have macaroni and cheese. You're going to spend about $2.50 for that. Or you can go to the deli section and get hot macaroni and cheese ready for you to eat. But you're going to spend $4.50 on that. Do you know why? Because it is convenient. This is what can be best for your products and services. It allows them to not think when you make items convenient. And it allows them to get something that they find the most valuable, and that's time. So here's a quote. The world is getting dumber and dumber, and I can prove it. Essentially, there was a time when everybody cooked. Everyone made everything from scratch. Then the microwave came along, and nobody cooked. Everyone used the microwave. There used to be a time when people woke up and talked to people. Then they created the telephone. Then they created the cell phone. And then they created AOL. Your mom cooks 5 days a week. Well, she's a rarity there. I'm talking to the general public there. Then they created AOL Instant Messenger. Remember that, that connecting sound? Then they created MSN Messenger. Then Yahoo Messenger. Then they created MySpace. Then Facebook. And then they created text messages. Do you know that I saw someone who had a whole conversation with LOL, OMG? Can you imagine a time where you didn't have a cell phone? I certainly can. I know I didn't have a cell phone. I had a pager my high school year, and I thought I was, pretty nifty with that. You Got Mail. I love that movie, actually. And I could not imagine a time that I did not have my cell phone. And I know there was a time that I didn't have a cell phone, and my parents didn't have a cell phone. We travel all over the country, even international, and we did not have a cell phone. But we cannot be without our cell phone for an hour. And when I went on a 7-day cruise, I was so starved for the internet. I was having withdrawals. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, you go for your phone and you just play games on it just because it's your phone. We are so attached to your phone that, that technology is so addictive. Now, Kids, back in the day, were used to playing with a stick and a hoop. And then, technology came along, the kids have their Game Boys and everything else underneath the sun. They're no longer satisfied with a stick and a hoop. The world is getting dumber and dumber. So you have to position your products and services wiser. The simpler and simpler you make your products and services, the more valuable. What year was I from? I'm referring to back in the day before me. I didn't play with a stick and a hoop. I played with a sit and spin and everything. Well, your son is 1 year old, so of course he's going to play with an empty pizza box. The easier you make your product service, I love sit and spin. I mean, I broke my sit and spin. I played with it, and then also the Hot Wheels, where you just drive around with the Hot Wheels. I love that thing. Oh my gosh. You could do like spin outs with it. Oh my gosh, loved it. So yeah, I love that thing. But the easier and easier you make your products and services, the more valuable they become. In addition, that making those products convenient and simple gives people something that they value over anything else, and that's time. Now, like I said, you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. It is that simple. Time is our most precious commodity. The more convenient you make your products and services, the more valuable they become, the more desirable they become. And therefore, people will be happy to buy your products. Now, next week, I'm going to discuss more and more and more on the different levels of products and services, how to build your business, how to build your brand. But also, I do have a conference that is coming up, 16-hour course on marketing and branding. Also in this course, we're going to be discussing social media and a variety of other things to take your business to the next level. Now, normally, this course is $599. But for today, I'm going to take off $500 just for you guys today. The conference is going to be on the web. So, and the conference is going to be February 23rd through the 24th. 16 hours of nonstop using your business with knowledge and products and services so that you can take your business to the next level. Now, because this conference is $599 normally, and I'm going to take off $100, only for a very few amount of people. For those who use the inaugural show keyword Duke, D-U-K-E, Duke, which is the dog who is barking. And if you go to my YouTube page, you'll see who, not puke. You are so naughty. Duke, put a D on that, as in douchebag, Glenn. You can do that. So if you actually send me an email through my Facebook, yes, you've got it now. If you will send me a message through Facebook with the keyword Duke, I will drop the price by $500. $500. Now, I'm only going to put this up until 2 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. So you have between now and 2 p.m. tomorrow to basically send me a direct message on my Facebook with the keyword Duke to get information on this top secret course for 16 hours that will take your business to the next level. So, hopefully you guys will take advantage of that on there, because this is a limited time only, and my courses do fill up quite quickly, and people are very satisfied with those. But on to travel tips, because right now is a travel season. So, when you are traveling, now I'm going to go into a lot of basics with travel, because some people, they're first-time travelers, sometimes some people are seasoned travelers there. Also, you can find all these tips and tricks on my YouTube channel, where I will actually have links to products and services I use myself, because I have traveled internationally. I've gone on cruises, I've gone on trains, planes, automobiles, you name it. And so I've learned a few things, because I was I called myself the notorious overpacker. I was the overpacker. But my dad is truly the OG of overpacking. He packs so much stuff and he uses about 3/4 of it. I have decided to scale back my packing so that I have plenty of space for other things, souvenirs. So I'm going to teach you how to save money on airfare. I'm going to teach you how to hack into when you're in the airport. I call them hacks and everything. They're tips and tricks, but they are, I refer to as the technology, I guess the millennial generation, we refer to them as hacks. And I'm not I'm not even going to repeat that. What you just said. Oh my goodness, you are so naughty. But I'm going to give you a couple different tips. When you're going through the airport security, most people go to the right. And even in the grocery stores, people have a tendency to direct you to go to the right. And that's why grocery stores are usually generally directing you to the right, because most people direct yourselves to the right naturally. So if you will do what your body does not want you to do and go to the left, to the furthest one away, you will go through security much quicker, because everyone is scrambling to go to the right. Go to the left. Now, also, TSA has rules so much, and it's so long that if you just go to their website, just go through everything before you go on your trip, you'll save yourself a lot of heartache on that. Well, we can't quite screw the TSA, because if you want to fly and travel that way, you've got to follow the rules on that. Now, once you get into the airport, there's something that I usually bring. I bring this, which is a recyclable Starbucks cup. I also bring a water container that has a screw on top, because they actually now have water dispensers, and you can go in and fill it up with cold water. And the water container I have, it actually keeps your cold liquids cold for over 24 hours and your hot liquids hot for 12. Well, I'll have to see that on your website, a Sports Insider cup. Does it keep your items hot and cold? Because if that does, I will definitely get one of those. Oh, awesome. Well, I'll have to look at that. But what you want to do is fill up your containers with water. But if you take this recycle cup to Starbucks, they will give you a discount on your coffee or tea. But if you bring your own tea bags, you can actually get free hot water and create your own tea and use the condiments there. And also, if you go to one of the Wi-Fi lounges and sit directly outside of it, you can actually scam free Wi-Fi at the airport. There's also another thing you can do as well to kind of save some money with that. So one is to bring your own cup and bring your own tea if you want to, or even your own coffee, your dried coffee, to do that. Because once you're inside the airport, you can definitely do that. Bring snacks. You want to definitely bring snacks, because airports you're basically hostage, a willing hostage, because things are super expensive there. Yes, you can bring a collapsible cup, absolutely. You can definitely do that. But for me personally, I do that, and I am looking into a collapsible water bottle, because that would be a great thing whenever you're going to the beach with that, because you could just, take your container that has the cold water and just put it in there, and you have like that. But also, when you're in the airport there too, let's say, for instance, your flight gets canceled. All the weather that's going on right now, things are getting canceled because of this Arctic blast. So instead of getting mad, get sad and talk to the ladies or gentlemen at the counter, as well as get on your telephone, call the airline. I guarantee when you're walking to the checkout counter, if you can't get anywhere with the people there at the gate, go to the checkout counter and be on the phone, because most likely you could be in line and get that last seat. But if you could talk to the attendant at the gate, it's sad, because a lot of times they do not get paid unless they go on the flight. So flight attendants want the flights to go because they only get paid for flights. So they don't get paid for staying in the airport. They get paid for actual time in the air. So they want you to go in the air. But sometimes weather, for safety reasons, you don't want to be in a lightning storm in an airplane. I guarantee it. You do not want to be in the air during a blizzard. You want to arrive safely to your destination. I guarantee it. So you basically get sad, and a lot of times what you can do is you get free upgrades to first class. Done that. You can get free upgrades to the lounges, free food, free water. Awesome. Done that. You can get free hotel. You can get vouchers for money to use on another trip. You can get a variety of things. Yelling and screaming at them is not going to make the snow go away. Yelling and screaming at them is not going to make that airplane go up. What it's going to do is get you blocked from the airport. And then, only in Las Vegas, I would say, because it's not legal anywhere else. Maybe in Europe, in Holland or something. I don't know. You'll have to ask your airline attendant for that one. I'm sure they'll enjoy that. But also, yes, in Amsterdam, yes, they do that there, all through Belgium. Actually, in Belgium, too. So I'll tell you about a story about that one. But I want to definitely get sad on there. But I'm going to teach you some other things about traveling in a hotel, traveling in airports, hotels, cruise ships, traveling in your own vehicle, things you guys can do to save money on the road. But right now, because of all the weather, people are still traveling and doing the flying thing. So make sure it's sad if the flights get canceled. Also, there's places in the airports now that you can actually sleep. Some of these airports, their first-class lounges, oh my gosh, they are so awesome. You can get a massage, you can get a manicure or pedicure, you can get free food, and there's gourmet food. You can get free drinks, alcohol, non-alcohol. I would not recommend, because the air is so dry in the airplane and the barometrics on your body, I wouldn't recommend drinking alcohol and getting on a flight. I would recommend drinking water. Limit your caffeine, because caffeine tends to dry you out and actually amplifies jet lag, makes you more tired, including alcohol as well. So if you are traveling to Europe, where jet lag most likely would happen, drink a lot of water. Kind of limit your fruit juices as well, because that can dry you out as well. If you're traveling towards the West Coast, like let's say California, jet lag is not going to happen as much as if you're heading towards the East Coast. So I would definitely do that. But you want to drink more water and electrolyte water. And one of the electrolyte water brands that I really enjoy is called Essentia Water. I really enjoy that water. It does really wonderful things for me. It has magnesium in it and other things. But also, there's powder that you can put in your drink, and I'll actually show you what that is on another show. And it has magnesium in it and electrolytes in it, so that if you can't bring your essential water in there, you can bring that and make your own water, electrolyte water. Here's another tip. You can get through the rules of beverages, bring your own beverages then. What you have to do is you have to freeze the beverage. As long as it's a solid, it will get through security. If it's a liquid, it will not get through security. They'll make you throw it out or drink it. Also, another tip is, and this is something that I learned the hard way in Mexico. I bought this huge thing of vanilla, because the vanilla in Mexico is awesome. Well, I was an idiot, and I did not put it in my checked bag. I put it in my backpack. So they caught it, and they said, well, you can get out of line, and you can go back to your bag and put it in your bag. Well, folks, once your bag leaves your hands, goes behind that counter, it goes on a conveyor belt. It's gone. So it's futile to go back to your luggage because it's gone to put that bottle in there. So I ended up having to throw away that bottle. And it was such a waste because what you do is you go in the airport and you get this little dinky little bottle that you paid this big bottle for this little dinky one. So you want to make sure you freeze your liquids. If you freeze your liquids, it's a solid. Because remember, water, when it's frozen, is ice, and that's solid. You can go through security. You have it instant where it's actually a chilled water, so it's kind of melting down, and you have ice cold water, and you have your water, which is a great little tip to do with that one. Also, I'll be telling you some other tips and tricks on there every Wednesday at 10 p.m. on Armed Radio that's being aired in over 60 countries worldwide. We'll also be doing kind of going between YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Periscope Live. So right now we are on Facebook Live and Periscope Live right now, as well as being on Armed Radio that's being aired in over 60 countries worldwide. And if you follow me on Twitter with Simply Kasy, I'll answer any questions you have. I'll actually give you packing tips, packing lists that you can utilize. Next week, I think I'm going to talk to you guys about cruises because right now is the awesome time to save money on cruises, especially to the Caribbean. Yes, on Twitter. That is correct. I'm on Twitter at Simply Kasy. So Simply Kasy, Kasy. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram. I'm out there. Hi, Steve Joseph Martinez. Hello. Welcome to the show. And we were discussing business tips, lifestyle tips, and also we're right now discussing some travel tips in the last few minutes of the show, which is the inaugural show. So you want to make sure that you go and watch the show from start to finish because we've got some great bargains in this particular show you want to take advantage of. So what we've learned about the travel tips is to bring your own cup to save yourself some money. Now, granted, this is plastic, which is great for the environment because you're not using those paper cups which take up, a lot of trash and everything. And you save $2 every time you go to a Starbucks, and that's money in your pocket. Now, you can bring your own tea and everything else. I'm actually going to show you some packing tips, which I actually have in a YouTube video that actually tells you. I actually bring my own cooler with me when I go to the airport, and actually will show you what I put in that cooler, which saves me money when I'm in the airport or on a cruise or just out and about. So, so basically what we want to do is we want to save our money because we work hard for it, and we want to make sure that we keep that so that we can use it when we go on our trips or we can use it to go travel with. So next week, I'm going to be discussing more life tips, especially during the time of the cold weather, more business tips, and also more travel tips to help you save money and maximize your experience with that. So watch every Wednesday at 10 p.m. on Armed Radio being aired in over 60 countries worldwide. Yes, even special drinks, Glenn. We can do that. I'm not sure what kind of special drinks, but that's something we'll have to save for another show.
Thank you for listening to Simply
So we're going
Kasy
to wrap up the
on
show right
radio,
now because
aired
I
in
can
over
see on my
60
computer it's
countries
10 o'clock
worldwide.
my
Tune in
time,
next
which means
week
it's
on
11 o'clock
Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Boston,
Eastern
where
for
Armed
our
Radio
newest
is located.
show.
I'm
Thank you for
Simply
watching
Kasy,
Simply
and I hope to
Kasy.
see you
I'll
next
see
week.
you
Bye-bye
next
now.
week. Bye-bye.